Highnesses Prince Charles and Prince Andrew. Is the brotherly bond now broken for good? Hi, good morning, Neil Sean here in the heart of London. A topic I really wanted to share with you because this particular story is escalating now around the world. And of course, we like to bring you what we know first and exclusive. This all really stems back, of course, because as we know, both Prince Andrew and Prince Charles are 12 years apart in, of course, their ages. And that is a big gap, of course, when you are brothers or sisters indeed, because there's different things that you've learned. By the time, of course, Prince Andrew was born, Prince Charles was well on his way to learning so many things about what was going to happen to him one day when he became, of course, king. More importantly for Prince Andrew, a little bit like Prince Harry, he's been able to have a far more sort of relaxed life, an easier life, some might say. There's always this story goes around as well that Prince Andrew is the favourite son, the favourite child of our gracious Majesty the Queen. Let me sort of debunk that myth. That really started out in a magazine many, many years ago. Her Majesty the Queen simply does not have favourites. She gets on equally well with all of her children and really brings out different things from them and learns different things from them. She likes the fact that Princess Anne is direct and doesn't hold back, tells the truth. That's what I've been told, at least. And then, of course, you have the gentle sensitiveness of course, His Royal Highness Prince Edward, who really is very close to his mother and offers more sort of sage and gentle advice, if you like. Prince Andrew has always been seen as, shall we say, rather difficult, a little bit headstrong. And then we have Prince Charles, who, as we know, was seen as slightly nutty way back in the 90s because he talked about talking to the plants and saving the planet. How right was Prince Charles, though, when you think about it? We all really should take time out and reflect on the greenery, shall we say. But back to the main topic in hand, let me tell you what I know so far. Basically, Prince Charles is still very close to his brother Prince Andrew. Of course, way back in 2015, when this rather disgraceful case came forward, it was very difficult for Prince Charles. After all, you know, he is a king in waiting. And above all else, they have to save the monarchy. You know, they have to keep the traditions of the monarchy going forward. That's not to say that they don't care about each other. What we can tell you is that both Camilla and Charles have been offering a lot of internal support while out at Windsor to Prince Andrew. But as they've openly spoken about, you know, this is a problem that is your problem. It can't engulf the rest of the family, particularly on a year like this year, which should truly only be about our gracious Majesty the Queen. After 70 years on the throne, that's really what the topic should be about. Prince Andrew knows this, but let me tell you, there are two people that he's very close to, that he discusses things a lot with, and that is, of course, Prince Edward and Prince Charles. And Camilla has been a great source of comfort to Prince Andrew also. Now, the difficult problem, of course, for Prince Charles moving forward, whatever the outcome of this particular court case, it's going to be difficult because Prince Andrew, as we know, would like at some point to return to some level of royal life. Now, that all really depends on whether that can be rehabilitation, even if, of course, there's nothing to rehabilitate. It's a stain now, isn't it? It's very difficult for people to move on from stories like this because they're printed repeatedly, as we've told you on the show before. The lies about the teddies, you know, the maids, all of that sort of stuff. You're free to really say what you want. And Prince Charles knows only too well how sometimes bad media sticks. But for those wondering, has everybody truly cut off Prince Andrew within royal circles? The answer is simply no. What they're doing with it is dealing with it privately, internally, as of course a private family matter, as even the royal family only should. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.